let's play the 2-5-1 progression on guitar, which is going to be a 2 minor 7, a 5 dominant 7, and a 1 major 7. Now, when you have a 2-5-1, the 2 is going to be the second degree above its parent scale, which is, in this case, C is 1. So if C is 1, D is 2. And if C is 1, 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G. Okay, so G is the 5th degree, D is the 2nd degree, C would be the 1st degree in the key of C as our example. Now, building roots, thirds, fifths, sevens above each of these chord tones using notes from the key of C, we will generate a 2 minor 7, a 5 dominant 7, and a 1 major 7. Now, the two most important tones that identify each of these chords is going to be the 3rd and the 7, using, again, only notes from the key of C, but that's a minor 3rd, and this is a minor 7. So this is D minor 7, then root, minor 7, major 3rd, so, and let's see how smooth, which is just the 3rds and 7s, right? Okay, and then continuing that, it's root 3, major 7 for our C major. So D minor 7, G7, C major. And actually, just as abstract as that can sound, that's the crux of your chord. And if you did nothing but that in context with a group, it'd sound awesome. So you could move that through different keys, and when you add the bass and the piano and the sax or trumpet or what have you, it's going to sound great. All right, so now we have root, flat 7, flat 3, and let's add a color tone on top to make a 4-note voicing. And that's going to be the 9 above. D up to E is a 9, and so if you're moving this around, as you should move any of these chords, right? That's a dominant 7 moving around. This is a major 7 moving around, right? So these are movable voicings. So this 9 above here is an E above this D, but it's going to be movable regardless of what the root is. So we have a 9 above that D minor, making it a D minor 9, and you can play that 9th anytime you see D minor 7. You don't have to have it saying D minor 9. You're welcome to play that anytime you see it. And then we're just going to keep that same note as we move to G7. And now that E above this G now is going to be called a 13 because it's a 6th above and then an octave above that. Okay, and then we have our C major. And then what I did was I kept that color tone on the B string and moved it down, and that became C major 9. All right, so anytime you see C major 7, you can play C major 9. Anytime you see E flat major, you can play E flat major 9. All right, you're welcome to add the 9s and the natural 13s anytime you see a minor, dominant, or major chord. Okay, so here it is in context. D minor 9, G 13, C major 9. Just as we did this before, for a 2-note 3rd and 7 only voicing of a 2-5-1, let's do this, which is our rootless version of the 3rd, 7, and the color tone on top. So D minor 9, rootless, G 13, rootless, C major 9, rootless. And again, this is going to sound great in a group, and this is probably what you should do rather than adding the root to conflict with the bass. All right, then make sure you practice these voicings in different keys. Okay, so that happened to be the key of D. So move that up and down the fretboard. All right, so we just did we did a 3-note version, we did a 2-note version, we did a rootless version and a 4-note version, all based on the same form of this 2-5-1 with the 2 on the A string and the 1 on the A string. Let's do the same thing with the roots of the 2 and the 1 chord on the E string. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us an opportunity to invert that 3rd and 7, which is going to give you the ability to go from any chord to any other chord without having to move that form, you know, almost an octave up or down. Let's stay in the same fret but go down a string. So this is A, D, G. So this would be G major, A minor, D7. So instead of having the root, flat 3, flat 7, as we did for D minor, which we could do, but let's move that flat 3 up an octave. Okay, so now we have A minor, which is root, flat 3, root, flat 7, flat 3, then root, major 3rd, flat 7, which makes D7, our 5 chord. Then we have G major, root, major 7, major 3rd. So okay, make sure you can do that. Now let's take the root out and make a 2-note rootless version. Okay, and let's do a color tone again. So here, adding that note above gave us, in this case, a 5th, because again, it was that same E that we've been playing before, but E above an A would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 5th. And then it's going to stay the same. And now that E above D is a 9. So see how our D7, it's just one note from our D minor 7. So D minor 7, D7. So hopefully these are going to start to become very visual for you. Okay, so we have A minor 7, D7 voiced as a D9, then G major 7, and we've added a 5th on top. Okay, just as we had a 5th here on our 2 chord, everything's moving down diatonically, which means in the key, and we have root 7, 3, 5, just as we had root 7, 3, 5, but these had minor intervals that made it a minor 7, and these have the major intervals that make it a major 7. So A minor 7, D9, G major. So here's our 3-note version of this without the root. So 3rds and 7s plus the color tone. So make sure you can do these in all keys. So practice moving them around, get them under your fingers, and you'll be up and running reading chord symbols on lead sheets sooner than you know it.